Hello, everyone. This is Dewey, joined once again by Tom.
Hello.
And we have some more exciting PAX East news. And this one is a little bit different because I don't know how many of you have heard of this game. It is a little game called Smite, made by Hi-Rez Studios. They are also the makers of Tribes Ascent, which is coming out, or is it out? I can't remember.
I think that they just up and released it today, actually.
Okay, so you guys can go ahead and check that out if you would like. But we're here to talk about Smite, and this is something I know for me, and I'm pretty sure for Tom too, that this really jumped out at us, kind of surprised us a little bit.
It is now on my top 5 most anticipated games of this year.
It is like a kind of hybrid MMO, almost MOBA. It is, I guess, MOBA to its deep roots. That's how the gameplay is. You have the three different lanes, so similar to League of Legends, Han, or Dota.
Right,
But
right, but don't stop the video. Don't stop the video just yet. All right, come back, viewer. All right, no, it's not an MMO like you grind and stuff because that would be terrible. It's just an MMO in terms of it's a third-person camera behind your character and it controls similarly to a lot of different MMOs. That's the big MMO thing that they took from MMOs.
yes, and we got a chance to play it twice this weekend, and for me at least, that wasn't enough. I want to play more.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
If I had access to that game, I would probably be playing it right now to the detriment of my Skyward Sword walkthrough.
it is it. They said that they take a lot of inspiration from the other MOBAs. They're in good relationships with a lot of the other teams, specifically Riot. They say that they talk with them a lot. And that, you can see that in a lot of the characters. I think it's a god based game, so you're going to have a lot of, kind of mythology and that kind of stuff references. Like you can play as Thor, you can play as Ra. Instead of champions, they have the gods, right?
Right, right, yeah, yeah. Odin. I mean, you've got to love any instance of Norse mythology. I'm a big fan of, just because I feel like it's underused and it's so much weirder than other mythology. Like a lot of things, like they kind of bleed into each other. Norse mythology, however, not so much. Kind of sweet.
So you play as these different gods, and then you go down your different lanes, and it is similar to a MOBA in that aspect. You want to take down the towers and get to the Minotaur, which is that's what, instead of they have a Nexus or whatever. I'm unfortunately only really familiar with League of Legends, but you're trying to take down the Minotaur at the end, which I don't know, Tom. How much are you familiar with a lot of the other MOBAs?
Yeah, yeah, I think in Dota that would be like the Frozen Throne or oh geez, I don't remember what it is on the good guy side in Dota. But
Is
it's the Frozen Throne on the enemy side for sure.
Is this the first instance in which you're having the last thing actually fight back?
I think it might be actually. I suspect so.
So the second tier of defense, you have the phoenixes, in which if you destroy one of those, you give your minions or whatever you want to call them, you give them like a bonus, flaming arrows, flaming swords, and that kind of stuff. So it gives, like, I believe it is a global bonus, right, to all of the minions. Or
Oh, versus just that lane? I'm
yeah,
not actually sure about that. I know
okay.
that they did mention that it also weakens the Minotaur for every Phoenix that you kill.
But this Minotaur isn't just, hand me down. Isn't just someone that's going to just fall down. He does fight back, and it's I don't know. I like that idea of, it's not simply just go kill this stationary object. If you have like one party member left after a big team fight and you're trying to kill that Minotaur, but you only have a little health, it's like, okay, maybe I can't just win this quite yet. Um, it seems like it was very action packed the whole time. There wasn't much of the passive farming that you find in a lot of the other MOBA games, um, particularly League of Legends, I think, at this point. But it's,
It's all of them really. All MOBA games are pretty farm centric compared to what they're going for with Smite.
yep.
I do want to touch on one more thing about the Minotaur though.
Hmm.
The Minotaur is fucking huge. He's like 10, 15 times the size of a character in the game. So that also adds to how cool it is to have a Minotaur instead of a building that you're wailing on, is that he's huge and awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, like it's just I don't know. It's nice just to have that that end thing there of like okay, we'll go around and kill the enemy's minotaur. Jesus Christ, this thing's gonna rape me. So they have different buffs. They play to a similar League of Legends style there in the jungle, you could say, where they have different enemy like neutral minion camps, neutral monster camps that give you a buff. There's like mana buffs, there's speed buffs, that kind of stuff scattered throughout the map, and it's pretty evenly divided on both sides. And then they also have like a big huge buff that makes everyone super scary. I don't know if I ever took that though while I was playing. I think I did.
Yeah, that was actually pretty difficult to kill. Like it seems like you it's maybe actually a little bit less difficult to kill than Baron Nashor in like League of Legends. But you definitely I don't know. I had a character that I felt was set up pretty well to solo it, and it was definitely going to win the fight against me.
They have a auto leveling system, which is interesting. If you're new to the game, if you just want to kind of jump in and attack things, and just fight things and not really think about too much of what you're doing, just to get a handle on the game, you can do that. It auto levels your skills and then your items for you, and that's something that's new to this game, right? Is the item system, right? It's tiered, so it's not like it has, like they kept on saying it didn't have an ingredient system, which is sort of true, but
Right.
it's like they have three different tiers, or at least that's what I saw consistently. Three different tiers of items. You had the lowest tier, first tier, and third tier, obviously. But like basically the item just got more powerful as it leveled up. So as you bought the next tier in that item, it would get more powerful. It would have pretty much the same stats. It would just become more powerful stats.
Yeah, but a lot of times the highest tier did have like an extra added
Yep.
passive or something like that, some special additional effect.
Hmm.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a clean item system to me. I kind of like that. There's no need to like come up with these three items built into this one item. If you want to build like magic damage or attack damage, you just get the attack damage item and then you upgrade it. Or I guess you'd probably so there is still item diversity here. It's not like there's one attack damage item, but you'd probably look at what the passives were on the last item and kind of build based on that.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't feel like the item catalog was smaller than in other games, but that system of just like buy part one and then upgrade it makes it seem a lot easier to navigate.
Yeah. And there's the summoner spells, which you don't choose before you go in game. It's before you go in game, you do not choose. Once you're in game, you can buy them, and they have a variety of different things there. And I mean, we played on the betas, so we don't know if there's going to be like a level 1 to level 30 yet, or anything of that nature. But to us, everything was available to purchase. So
Right. It would be a little bit of an odd choice to have those unlock with like have the ability to buy something in game unlock due to outside of game play, like
true.
how much you played the game overall. That'd be a little bit goofy to me, but I guess it's entirely possible. There's no reason that they couldn't do it.
Hmm.
Uh,
So I mean, like, what else jumped out to you during this game, during our demos of it?
so the combat in general is a lot more even relative to an MMO game, it's more similar to like an action game, like a
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say Devil May Cry because that throws like all sorts of like stylish knocking people up into the air, like crazy combos. Not quite at that level, but I mean, when you click, you attack once. You don't like target the person in front of you and start attacking them forever. So when you click, like either you swing your staff or you shoot a bolt of magic if
Hmm.
you're ranged, or an arrow or whatever. And all of the ranged auto attacks even are skill shots, which is pretty interesting. You can't shoot through like the enemy's minions. They're small little guys that you farm, so you can actually hide behind those in order to kind of screen out your opponent's attacks. Even if you're melee, that makes it a lot easier to get to the minions and close the gap on your opponent. But it's also a
Hmm.
lot more just fun.
Yeah.
having everything be a skill shot is fun because it makes it seem so much more involved to either farm and attack minions or attack your enemy. And there's also this extra added, can I execute this? Can I actually land that shot? Versus just what should I be attacking right now?
Yeah, that the combat for me, the best way I can describe it, and this is really saying something about this game, is it's very similar to Guild Wars 2 for me. The combat that I experienced in Guild Wars 2, which you're running around constantly, you're not staying stationary, you're trying to, move, find the best angle and that kind of stuff. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, I
And
think the nightmare scenario for the people making Smite for Hi-Rez Studios, the nightmare scenario might be having NCSoft look at their game and go, "Oh, our engine could do that too, couldn't it?"
yeah, right. So yeah, that I mean, it's a game that if you guys haven't, I don't really know how much is out there right now. But if there's anything out there, learn more about it. I have a feeling for myself that this game is going to be a lot bigger than it is right now, and it's going to get welcomed into this competitive, almost esports market at the
Could be the
moment.
next League of Legends. Could be
Could
the
be.
next League of Legends. That's entirely possible.
So for those of you who have doubts right now, and that's completely understandable. You guys haven't really seen the game, you haven't played the game. What's there to make you think like, oh, why should I drop Dota? Why should I drop Han? Why should I drop League of Legends just to play this game? I don't think you should drop any of those. But for me, I'm a huge League of Legends fan, and it was something that I didn't really want to explore Dota or Han because I'd put so much time into League of Legends. But within 5 minutes of seeing this game, I wanted to play more of it, and that speaks large volumes for me. Actually wanting just to explore a new game.
Yeah, it's really awesome that it's different enough from a traditional MOBA with the top-down view, moving into the third person and making everything so much more action oriented really does change the feel of the game enough that I want to play it and I want to play League of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Dota 2 and Heroes of New Earth, I'm planning on getting a little bit more into those games, but it'll always sort of be like, well, why aren't I just playing League of Legends? I know that game's so much better, and I feel so much better about my ability to play it, and I'm probably never going to be as good at Han or Dota as I am at League of Legends, and
Mm-hmm.
my brain will never stop itself from making that comparison. With Smite, I could be terrible compared to how good I am at League of Legends, but it would still be awesome because it's got this epic scale. And that's one thing that I think could save this game, even if NCSoft decided, well, hey, let's just completely rip that game off, put it as a game mode into Guild Wars 2, is that Guild Wars 2 has to have all of their spell effects look reasonable in stuff like World versus World, where it's like 150 people versus 150 people.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't have something that just dominates the landscape that can be cast by a single person. Whereas Smite is, built for 5v5, so they can have this fantastic looking or incredibly, like, not just fantastic looking, but incredibly effective ability. One of the champions had an AOE confuse that,
Mm-hmm.
if it were in Guild Wars 2, would be completely game breaking because you could catch 100 people in that AOE in World versus World. So like the abilities and everything in the game are, I don't know, to me they're spectacular.
Yeah, I completely agree. You could see the inspirations from different champions and other things from all the different games, and I really think that's it didn't help, it didn't hurt it. A lot of people would think that hurts it. Oh, they're just stealing stuff from League of Legends. Oh, they're just stealing stuff from Dota. But really, what it helped me do is help me easily. Like, I was very familiar with the game just upon jumping into it. And it wasn't so like close that it's like, oh, it's just stealing completely from it. It's like they called it Jarvan, or they called it like Harvin or something like that. But they didn't do that, and it was close enough where I'm familiar with it, but far enough away from it where it was still a new idea and a new way to play for me.
And yeah, the just the difference in gameplay, I think, is enough that you can get away with, like, even if they did have absolute carbon copies of champions from League of Legends, which
Mm-hmm.
they don't, but even if they did, the feel of the game itself is, to me, different enough that, okay, who cares? Who cares? I'd like to play Jarvan in this game. If they had Annie in this game, my favorite champion of all time in League of Legends, I'd just be like, awesome! I can drop a giant 3D bear in like third person mode over the shoulder on people and just wreck their faces. I want that. Now that I think about it, it's not just like I'd be like, well, that's okay. They ripped off Annie. I'd be like, oh, I can play Annie in this game. That's awesome and different, and I want to do it.
So yeah, that's Smite, guys. It's a game that me and Tom are looking forward to immensely. We can't wait till it comes out, or till we get any kind of more access to it, whether it be alpha, beta, or whatever it is.
We're making illicit offers to the people developing this game for early access to the beta. I'm just gonna put it out there. Dewey's said horrible things that he'd do.
So like, look forward to a lot more coverage from this. We definitely want to be following it closely, and I think you guys should be following it closely as well. Let us know if you guys got a chance to demo it at PAX East, what you guys thought of it, or you know what you guys are thinking of the game, from anything you guys have seen that is kind of scattered around the interwebs. But
right. Well, wait. One second though, because we've been just overwhelmingly positive about this game, and I think that's a little bit unbalanced. The animations look a little sucky. It's in beta, so that's okay.
There's the negative thing. Good job, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, and particularly they seem to get less fluid when things are further away. But the minions walk kind of funny. The animations are a little gross looking. The bad thing I can say about it.
It is running on the Unreal Engine, right?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
So it's a little bit of a old engine, but it's still I still thought it ran pretty well. So
yep.
So thank you guys for watching. Remember, like and subscribe if you haven't already. That is all we have to say on Smite, even though I'm saying that for the second time. Thank you again, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Like heavier world. So what that did is made everything more dense and super heavy, so pretty much you can't lift up anything. But it also allowed for when the lasers got shot at the things, for them not to.
I find it offensive as an American that British are dying in the game.
I do not find it offensive. It's a video game.
Because some people are taking offense to it.
Well, some people need to chill out.
And I said people die in lots of games.
That's right.
And
no one cries about the Russians.